Ryan Thomas Gosling is a Canadian actor. Prominent in independent film, he has also worked in blockbuster films of varying genres, and has accrued a worldwide box office gross of over $1.9 billion. He has received various accolades, including a Golden Globe Award, and nominations for 2 Academy Awards and a BAFTA Award. Born and raised in Canada, he rose to prominence at age 13 for being a child star on the Disney Channel's The Mickey Mouse Club, and went on to appear in other family entertainment programs, including Are You Afraid of the Dark? And Goosebumps. His first film role was as a Jewish neo-Nazi in The Believer, and he went on to star in several independent films, including Murder by Numbers, The Slaughter Rule, and The United States of Leland. Gosling gained wider recognition and stardom for the 2004 romance film The Notebook. This was followed by starring roles in a string of critically acclaimed independent dramas including Half Nelson, for which he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor, Lars and the Real Girl, and Blue Valentine. Gosling co-starred in 3 mainstream films in 2011, the romantic comedy Crazy, Stupid, Love, the political drama The Ides of March, and the action drama Drive, all of which were critical and commercial successes. He then starred in the acclaimed financial satire The Big Short and the romantic musical La La Land, the latter of which won him the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor and a second Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. Further acclaim followed with the science fiction thriller Blade Runner 2049 and the biopic First Man. In addition to acting, he made his directorial debut in 2014's Lost River. Gosling's band, Dead Man's Bones, released their self-titled debut album and toured North America in 2009. He is a co-owner of Tajin, a Moroccan restaurant in Beverly Hills, California. Gosling is a supporter of PETA, Invisible Children, and the Enough Project and has traveled to Chad, Uganda and Eastern Congo to raise awareness about conflicts in the regions. Gosling has been involved in peace promotion efforts in Africa for over a decade. He is in a relationship with actress Eva Mendes, with whom he has 2 daughters. Early life and education. Ryan Thomas Gosling was born on November 12, 1980, at St. Joseph's Hospital in London, Ontario, the son of Thomas Ray Gosling, a travelling salesman for a paper mill, and Donna, a secretary. Both of his parents are of part French-Canadian descent, along with some German, English, Scottish, and Irish. He and his family were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Gosling has said that the religion influenced every aspect of their lives. Because of his father's work, they moved around a lot and Gosling lived in both Cornwall, Ontario, and Burlington, Ontario. His parents divorced when he was 13, and he and his older sister Mandy lived with their mother, an experience Gosling has credited with programming him to think like a girl. Gosling was educated at Gladstone Public School, Cornwall Collegiate and Vocational School and Lester B. Pearson High School. As a child, he watched Dick Tracy and was inspired to become an actor. He hated being a child, was bullied in elementary school, and had no friends until he was 14 or 15. In grade 1, having been heavily influenced by the action film First Blood, he took steak knives to school and threw them at other children during recess. This incident led to a suspension. He was unable to read, and was evaluated for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, but was not diagnosed with it and, contrary to false reports, never took medication. His mother left her job and homeschooled him for a year. He has said homeschooling gave him a sense of autonomy that I've never really lost. Gosling performed in front of audiences from an early age, encouraged by his sister being a performer. He and his sister sang together at weddings. He performed with Elvis Presley, his uncle's Elvis Presley tribute act, and was involved with a local ballet company. Performing boosted his self-confidence as it was the only thing for which he received praise. He developed an idiosyncratic accent because, as a child, he thought having a Canadian accent did not sound tough. He began to model his accent on that of Marlon Brando. He dropped out of high school at age 17 to focus on his acting career. Acting career. 1993–1999, child actor. In 1993, 12-year-old Gosling attended an open audition in Montreal for a revival of the Disney Channel's The Mickey Mouse Club. He was given a 2-year contract as a mousekeeper and moved to Orlando, Florida. He appeared on screen infrequently because other children were considered more talented. Nonetheless, he has described the job as the greatest 2 years of his life. Fellow cast members included Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and Justin Timberlake. Gosling has credited the experience with instilling in them this great sense of focus. He became particularly close friends with Timberlake and they lived together for 6 months during the second year of the show. Timberlake's mother became Gosling's legal guardian after his mother returned to Canada for work reasons. Gosling has said that even though he and Timberlake talk infrequently, they are still supportive of each other. Following the show's cancellation in 1995, Gosling returned to Canada, where he continued to appear in family entertainment television series, including Are You Afraid of the Dark? And Goosebumps, and starred in Breaker High as Sean Hanlon. At age 18, he moved to New Zealand to film the Fox Kids adventure series Young Hercules as the title character. He later said that he initially enjoyed working on the series, but began to care too much about the show, so it was no longer fun for him. He wanted to spend more time sitting with and devising a character as well as play a variety of roles, so he chose to transition into film and not accept any more television work. 2000–2003, moved to independent film. Aged 19, Gosling decided to move into serious acting. He was dropped by his agent and initially found it difficult to secure work because of the stigma attached to children's television. After a supporting role in the football drama Remember the Titans, he secured a lead role as a young Jewish neo-Nazi in 2001's The Believer. Director Henry Bean said he cast Gosling because his Mormon upbringing helped him understand the isolation of Judaism. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times praised an electrifying and terrifyingly convincing performance, while Todd McCarthy of Variety felt his dynamite performance could scarcely have been better. The film won the Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival, and Gosling has described it as the film that kind of gift-wrapped for me the career that I have now. Because of the controversial nature of the film, it was difficult to secure financial backing for a full theatrical release, and the film was instead broadcast on Showtime. The film was a commercial failure, grossing $416,925 worldwide from a production budget of $1.50 million. In 2002, Gosling co-starred in the psychological thriller Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock and Michael Pitt, where Gosling and Pitt portrayed a pair of high school seniors who believe they can commit the perfect murder. Bullock played the detective tasked with investigating the crime. Lisa Schwartzbaum of Entertainment Weekly described him as a phenomenal talent even in junk like this, while Todd McCarthy felt that the strong and charismatic young actors were a letdown by the screenplay. The film was a minor commercial success, grossing $56 million worldwide from a production budget of $50 million. His second screen appearance of 2002 was in The Slaughter Rule with David Morse, which explores the relationship between a high school football player and his troubled coach in rural Montana. Gosling has said that the opportunity to work with Morse made him a better actor. Stephen Holden of The New York Times described Gosling as major star material with a rawness and an intensity that recall the young Matt Dillon, while Manala Dargis of the Los Angeles Times was won over by his raw talent. The film was released in just 3 U.S. theaters and grossed $13,411. In 2003, Gosling starred in the United States of Leland as a teenager imprisoned for the murder of a disabled boy. He was drawn to the role because it was unusual to find a character that was emotionally disconnected for the whole film. Critic Roger Ebert felt that the gifted actor does everything that can be done with Leland, but the character comes from a writer's conceits, not from life. A.O. Scott of the New York Times noted that he struggles to rescue Leland from the clutches of cliché, while David Rooney of Variety felt that his one-note, blankly disturbed act has none of the magnetic edge of his breakthrough work in The Believer. The film grossed $343,847 in the United States and was not released overseas. 2004-2009, I The Notebook /I and I Half Nelson /I. None. 2010-2012, widespread recognition. Following a 3-year absence from the screen, Gosling starred in 5 films in 2010 and 2011. I've never had more energy, Gosling said. I'm more excited to make films than I used to be. I used to kind of dread it. It was so emotional and taxing. But I've found a way to have fun while doing it. And I think that translates into the films. He has also spoken of feeling depressed when not working. In 2010, he starred opposite Michelle Williams in Derek Cianfrance's directorial debut, the marital drama Blue Valentine. The low-budget film was mainly improvised, and Gosling has said you had to remind yourself you were making a film. Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle felt he brings a preternatural understanding of people to his performance, while A.O. Scott of the New York Times found him to be convincing as the rundown, desperate, older Dean, and maybe a bit less so as the younger version. Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly wrote that he plays Dean as a snarky working-class hipster, but when his anger is unleashed, the performance turns powerful. However, Wesley Morris of the Boston Globe felt the performance was an example of hipsterism misdirected. He was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Motion Picture Drama. The film was a box office success, grossing over $12 million worldwide from a production budget of $1 million. Gosling's second on-screen appearance of 2010 was in the mystery film All Good Things with Kirsten Dunst, based on a true story. He played the role of New York real estate heir David Marks, who was investigated for the disappearance of his wife. Gosling found the filming process to be a dark experience and did not undertake any promotional duties for the film. When asked if he was proud of the film, he said, "I'm proud of what Kirsten does in the movie." Peter Travers of Rolling Stone wrote that he gets so deep into character you can feel his nerve endings. Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle found the chameleonic Gosling is completely convincing as this empty shell of a man. Betsy Sharkey of the Los Angeles Times felt that the film belonged to Dunst, but praised Gosling's performance. The film grossed $644,535 worldwide. Also in 2010, Gosling narrated and produced Regeneration, a documentary that explores the cynicism in today's youth towards social and political causes. 2011 saw Gosling expand his horizons by appearing in 3 diverse, high-profile roles. He co-starred in his first comedic role in the romantic comedy drama Crazy, Stupid, Love, with Steve Carell and Emma Stone. Gosling took cocktail-making classes at a Los Angeles bar in preparation for his role as a smooth-talking ladies' man. Ann Hornaday of The Washington Post said his seductive command presence suggests we may have found our next George Clooney. Peter Travers declared him a comic knockout, while Claudia Pook of USA Today felt he reveals a surprising knack for comedy. He was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Motion Picture Musical or Comedy. The film was a box office success, grossing over $142 million worldwide. With adjustments for inflation, it is the second most successful of Gosling's career. Gosling's first action role was in Drive, based on a novel by James Salas. Gosling played a Hollywood stunt performer who moonlights as a getaway driver, and he has described the film as a violent John Hughes movie. I always thought if Pretty in Pink had head smashing it would be perfect. Roger Ebert compared Gosling to Steve McQueen and stated that he embodies presence and sincerity. He has shown a gift for finding arresting, powerful characters can achieve just about anything. Joe Morgenstern of the Wall Street Journal pondered the ongoing mystery of how he manages to have so much impact with so little apparent effort. It's irresistible to liken his economical style to that of Marlon Brando. The film was a box office success, grossing $70 million worldwide from a production budget of $15 million. In his final appearance of 2011, Gosling co-starred with Philip Seymour Hoffman in the political drama The Ides of March, directed by George Clooney, in which he played an ambitious press secretary. Gosling partly decided to do the film to become more politically aware. I'm Canadian and so American politics aren't really in my wheelhouse. Joe Morgenstern stated that Gosling and Hoffman are eminently well equipped to play variations on their characters' main themes. Yet neither actor has great material to conjure within the script. In a generally tepid review, Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times asserted that it was certainly involving to see the charismatic Gosling verbally spar with superb character actors like Hoffman and Giamatti. Mick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle felt there was one aspect to the character that Gosling can't quite nail down, that might simply be outside his sphere, which is idealism. He was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor Motion Picture Drama. The film grossed $66 million worldwide. 2013-2014, mixed reception and directorial debut. In 2013's crime thriller Gangster Squad, Gosling portrayed Sergeant Jerry Wooters, a 1940s LAPD officer who attempts to outsmart mob boss Mickey Cohen. He was reunited with Emma Stone as his love interest, after their earlier pairing in Crazy, Stupid, Love. Stone has said she hopes they will find more projects to work together on. A.O. Scott of the New York Times described the film as an excuse for the cast to earn some money trying out funny voices and suppressing whatever sense of nuance they might possess. Christy Lemire of the Boston Globe criticized Gosling's weird, whispery voice and his barely developed, one-note character. However, Betsy Sharkey of the Los Angeles Times felt that there was a seductive power in the scenes shared by Gosling and Stone, but like too much else in the film, it's a scenario that is only half played out. In The Place Beyond the Pines, a generational drama directed by Blue Valentine's Derek Cianfrance, Gosling played Luke, a motorcycle stunt rider who robs banks to provide for his family. The shoot was described by Gosling as the best experience I have ever had making a film. A.O. Scott of the New York Times praised his performance, writing, Mr. Gosling's cool self-possession, the only thing he was allowed to display in Drive, is complicated, made interesting, by hints of childlike innocence and vulnerability. Scott found as of the Village Voice was unimpressed. Gosling's character verges on parody. Gosling uses a soft, wounded half-whisper that tells us this is all some kind of put-on. It's a close variation on the role Gosling played to stronger effect in Nicholas Winding Refn's existential Hollywood thriller, Drive, where it was clear the character was meant to be an abstraction. David Denby of The New Yorker remarked that he reprises his inexorable loner routine. The film grossed $35 million worldwide from a production budget of $15 million. Later in 2013, Gosling starred in the violent revenge drama Only God Forgives, directed by Drive's Nicholas Winding Refn. Gosling undertook Muay Thai training in preparation for the role, and has described the script as the strangest thing I've ever read. Both the film and his performance drew negative reviews. David Edelstein of New York Magazine stated, Gosling looked like a major actor as a skinhead in The Believer and a star in Half Nelson. Then he stopped acting and started posing. His performance in Only God Forgives is one long, moist stare. Stephen Holden of the New York Times criticized Gosling's inability to give his automaton any suggestion of an inner life. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone commented that Gosling, while meant to be a blank page for us to write on, often looks merely blank. In early 2013, Gosling announced that he was taking a break from acting, stating, "I've lost perspective on what I'm doing. I think it's good for me to take a break and reassess why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it. And I think this is probably a good way to learn about that." Gosling's directorial debut Lost River competed in the Uncertain Regard section at the 2014 Cannes Film Festival. The fantasy noir, written by Gosling, stars Christina Hendricks, Ben Mendelsohn, and Matt Smith. The film received largely unfavorable reviews. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian found it insufferably conceited and remarked that Gosling had lost any sense of proportion or humility. Robbie Collin of The Daily Telegraph described Lost River as mind-bogglingly pleased with itself, while Variety's Justin Chong dismissed the derivative film as a train wreck. 2015 present, I La La Land/I and return to film. None. Upcoming projects. Music career. In 2007, Gosling made a solo recording called Put Me in the Car available for download on the internet. Also that year, Gosling and his friend Zach Shields formed the indie rock band Dead Man's Bones. The two first met in 2005 when Gosling was dating Rachel McAdams and Shields was dating her sister, Kayleen. They initially conceived of the project as a monster-themed musical but settled on forming a band when they realized putting on a stage production would be too expensive. They recorded their eponymous debut album with the Silver Lake Conservatory's children's choir and learned to play all the instruments themselves. Gosling contributed vocals, piano, guitar, bass guitar, and cello to the record. The album was released through Anti Records on October 6, 2009. Pitchfork Media was won over by the unique, catchy, and lovably weird record, while Prefix felt the album was rarely kitschy and never inappropriate. However, Spin felt the album doesn't reverse the rule that actors make dubious pop musicians, and Entertainment Weekly criticized its cloying, gothic preciousness. In September 2009, Gosling and Shields had a 3-night residency at LA's Bob Baker Marionette Theater where they performed alongside dancing neon skeletons and glowing ghosts. They then conducted a 13-day tour of North America in October 2009, using a local children's choir at every show. Instead of an opening act, a talent show was held each night. In September 2010, they performed at Los Angeles FYF Festival. In 2011, the actor spoke of his intentions to record a second Dead Man's Bones album. No children's choir will be featured on the follow-up album because it's not very rock and roll. Personal life. Gosling previously resided in New York City with his mixed-breed dog George. He co-owns Tajin, a Moroccan restaurant in Beverly Hills, California. He bought the restaurant on an impulse. He has said that he spent all money on it, spent a year doing the renovation work himself, and now oversees the restaurant's menus. Gosling dated his Murder by Numbers co-star Sandra Bullock from 2002 to 2003. He then had a relationship with his The Notebook co-star Rachel McAdams from 2005 to 2007, before they briefly reunited in 2008. Gosling has been in a relationship with his The Place Beyond the Pines co-star Eva Mendes since September 2011. The couple have 2 daughters, one born in 2014 and the second in 2016. Gosling is supportive of various social causes. He has worked with PETA on a campaign to encourage KFC and McDonald's to use improved methods of chicken slaughter in their factories, and on a campaign encouraging dairy farmers to stop dehorning cows. Gosling volunteered in Biloxi, Mississippi in 2005, as part of the cleanup effort following Hurricane Katrina. He is a supporter of Invisible Children, Inc., a group that raises awareness about the LRA in Central Africa. In 2005, Gosling traveled to Darfur refugee camps in Chad. He was a speaker at Campus Progress National Conference in 2008 where he discussed Darfur. As part of his work with the Enough Project, he visited Uganda in 2007 and Eastern Congo in 2010. During the filming for Barbie, Gosling was seen wearing a fan-made t-shirt of his co-star Ncuti Gatwa as the 14th Doctor from Doctor Who to show his support for their casting. He has previously expressed admiration for actor Matt Smith, who played the 11th Doctor, which led him to cast the actor for his film Lost River. Filmography. Film. Television. Discography. Accolades and nominations. Among his many accolades, Gosling has received 2 Academy Award nominations, a British Academy Film Award nomination, 1 Golden Globe Award from 5 nominations, and 4 Screen Actors Guild Award nominations. In 2006, his role as a troubled history teacher in the drama film Half Nelson garnered him wide critical recognition and nominations for the Academy Award and Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor. 10 years later, he received further recognition for his role as a struggling jazz pianist in the musical romance film La La Land, and he won the Golden Globe Award and was nominated for the Academy Award, British Academy Film Award and Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor. In between Half Nelson and La La Land, Gosling received other recognition for his roles in Lars and the Real Girl, Blue Valentine, The Ides of March and Crazy, Stupid, Love, all of which earned him Golden Globe nominations, with Lars and the Real Girl also earning him a SAG nomination. His Golden Globe nominations for The Ides of March and Crazy, Stupid, Love in the respective categories of Best Actor Drama and Best Actor Musical or Comedy made him one of few actors to be nominated in both leading role categories in the same year. As a member of the ensemble cast of the biographical comedy drama film The Big Short, he was nominated for the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Motion Picture Cast. German television prank. In March 2017, Gosling was at the center of a prank involving Golden Kamera, an annual German film and television award. German comedians Joko Winterscheid and Klaus Huferumlauf arranged for a Ryan Gosling impersonator to be awarded the Best International Film Prize for La La Land. Following the event, a speaker for television broadcaster ZDF asked for the trophy to be given back, stating that La La Land had won the prize and that the trophy would be given to the real Ryan Gosling. The incident, which became known as Gosling Gate, sparked criticism of the event's concept. Media critics argued that the Best International Film Award had only been created in an effort to get Ryan Gosling on the show, with no regards for the movie's quality. The incident played a major role in the cancellation of the Golden Kamera in 2019. In 2018, Winterscheid, Huferumlauf and the Gosling double Ludwig Lehner were awarded the Grimm Award for their media criticism.